Namaste. Today's pose is Parsva Urdhva Hastasana, better known as standing side bend. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, but for those of us who are not, I did want to make sure it was covered, as there are some very common, not misalignments necessarily, but ways that I see people doing it that we could perhaps work on a little bit. So you'll start in Tadasana, mountain pose, with your feet hip distance apart, or you can choose to have your feet closer together, yogi's choice. Ground down through both feet, inner and outer corners of both feet. Lengthen the tailbone and begin to engage the lower abdomen. And you generally do this pose with your arms up in the air, but I'll show you different modifications. So the first one would be if you were not using your arms, you could still do this on a smaller scale. But you ground down, so we're going to go to the left. So you're right if you're mirroring me. But ground down through the right foot. Make sure your hips don't bump out to the side. And then lengthen the left and the right body over to the left. So you can just keep your hands in prayer if you're not using your arms today. Or take your left hand to your left hip. Again, ground down through that right foot. Reach the right arm up and over, leading with the pinky so you externally rotate the bicep before going over the head. And ground down through both feet, lengthen the tailbone, engage the core, and lift up and over with that right arm. So here, we don't want to crunch into the side body and push out with the right hip. We want to lengthen along both sides of the body. So open the right rib cage up. Make sure that you're not turning and looking down with your right rib cage closing. Open the right rib cage up. Engage the core, knit the rib cage together, and reach up and over. And you can look straight ahead. You can look down as long as that doesn't lead your right shoulder, right rib cage to close. Or you can look up if that doesn't hurt your neck. The third variation is taking both arms up overhead into prayer, or you can clasp and have your index fingers leading. Just make sure here, again, I have very short arms, so when I do something like this, I need to keep a pretty drastic bend in my elbows so that my shoulders don't come up and squeeze up by my ears. But you can do, if you have longer arms, excellent. Just make sure you create space, you relax your shoulders away from your ears. And same thing, so we'll actually go the other way this time so that we can even it out. So ground down through the left foot, evenly through both feet, but sometimes you tend to, when you're leaning, take the weight off of the one foot. So make sure you don't do that. Ground down through the left foot, keep the hips square, and reach up and over to the right. So again, finding a lot of length along the right side body, opening the left rib cage to the sky. Keep your shoulders in one plane. Keep your hips square and in one plane. So if you wanted to do this against a wall, you could absolutely do that to make sure that your body is in one straight line. Your back body should be against the wall. And then using your core, come back up to center. And there you have it. Practice some more at home if you'd like. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Namaste.